Hey, welcome to another Milepost here on the V-Twin Life. The V-Twin Life is brought to you by a few great companies. One being Crash Inc. Clothing. You can find them out of Oregon. Great company, specialized in clothes, doing work on bikes now. You can check them out at crashinclothing.com. They got a lot of great stuff. Hey, head on over there. Maybe they got something you like. And we can't forget Wild Ass. You like pounding miles, you like riding, you want to be in comfort? Hey, maybe strap a Wild Ass under your ass and ride with an air cushion and be comfortable for hours. And can't forget Custom Dynamics, leading the industry in lighting LED technology. Man, these guys got some great stuff. So head on over to Custom Dynamics and check it out. Now, let's get to another milepost of the V-Twin Life. What is going on, everybody? Thanks for tuning in on another Sunday as we are kicking up and hitting milepost 97 tonight. We got Miss Celtfire coming to join us. So, hey, thank you for taking time out and coming to hang out.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm very honored.
It'll be a lot of fun. I mean, that's the whole fun of this is, meeting everybody else within the community and, figuring out and finding the stories, of how all we came into life on two wheels. Because, I mean, everybody starts at different times. We got different ways of life, so it's a lot of fun meeting everybody and just sharing everybody's stories. I enjoy it. It's a lot of fun for me, and I enjoy meeting new people and building all these friendships.
Nice.
Yeah. So I guess we can start with it. So how did you find motorcycles? Where did it come into life for you?
So it would be 2 years ago, and about the same time. My husband and I, it's COVID, and we're sitting on the couch, and he turns to me one day and he's like, "You ever consider riding motorcycles?" And I was like, "No, not really." And I said, "Well, I wouldn't be opposed to learning how." And he said, "Cool." So that's it. We were looking around, and he got us a couple of Honda Groms. I guess it's a 2023. The one that's a 4-speed or 5-speed. No, it's a 5. I think it's a 5-speed transmission. Little Honda Groms, and I started on those, and very quickly moved up. I was like, okay, it's time to get something different. So on my birthday that year, we found a Suzuki Savage, and I took that home, and that was fun. And then I had this, my cousins up in Ohio. I'm originally born outside of Cleveland, and and so my family is, my cousins are all ride motorcycles. In fact, my cousin has a Sportster too, much like, I think it's about the same year as mine. It's a 07 or 08. She said, she was picking on me. She said, "You got a Suzuki?" She's like, "You should get a Harley. What's wrong with you? You need a Harley." So, it was okay. I grew out of the Suzuki though, wanted something bigger and faster. And so I got the Sportster, and I love it. That's nice. My forever bike.
That's you still have the Groms?
Yeah. Yes, we still have the Groms.
Those things are fun.
Yeah, we have 3 kids, and we thought that would be cool for them to learn on too. So.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Get the whole family riding motorcycles.
Yeah, we were talking about yesterday. Your youngest is getting into dirt bikes now, which is super cool.
Yeah, yeah. We took him. His birthday was just last Saturday, and we said, "Hey, what do you want for your birthday?" And he said, "I want to learn how to ride dirt bikes." So I got on to Google and I looked up, and we actually really have a dirt bike school, like just right up the road from us. And, we signed him up for a class there, 1-day class there. And he started out a little skittish, a little scared of the throttle, but then, he took off with it. By the end of the day, I was chasing him down going, "Hey, it's time to turn the bike in." So,
that's awesome.
He had a lot and I asked him, we got in the car. I thought for sure he was going to say, "I want a dirt bike. But he didn't do that. I said, "So, and I think it was just because he was exhausted at that point. And I said, "So, was it everything you thought it would be?" And he goes, "Better."
That's cool that you guys got a dirt bike school over there. That'd be a lot of fun. That's a great way to introduce younger people into it. And I mean, for me, that's where I started. So I think it's really cool. You see people give them something to do and, get them
It,
out and outdoors and enjoying having a good time.
it's a beautiful. It's called the it's Bob White's it's dirt bike boot camp, and he also has a museum there. His big storage area. He's got one of Steve McQueen's bikes.
Hmm.
And he's got one of those really cool. There was only like 65 of them made. Harley-Davidson made those plastic bikes for the military that I don't know. I can't remember what year. I want to
I
say
don't know.
60s something. But they all the plastics were literally plastics. Like the body pieces were plastics, and it carried two large gas containers on the front, and they were made just for the military. There was only 65 of them made, and
Oh
he's
wow.
got one of them. I told him when I went in there, it was, and he had all kinds of old bikes. Those are just the two that I noticed. But I told him, I said, hey, there's another one of those up at the South Harley Davidson in Ohio. It's a huge Harley Davidson dealership, and they have like one of Elvis's bikes, his white, I think it was a Road King, 1950 something like that.
Hmm.
I can't remember for sure without looking at the picture. But yeah, it was really cool to see all those old bikes, and the guy really loves like dirt bikes and motorcycles. He's got jerseys lining his wall, like all the famous dirt bike racers, and yeah, it was a pretty cool experience.
I want to go there.
Yeah, yeah,
Be right up my alley.
and
That'd be fun.
yeah. Yeah, I told him, I said, I'm going to have to wait until our funds recoup a little bit. And I'm definitely going to sign up for one of the classes because I want to do it.
Oh yeah, that'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So what kind of stuff what's your kind of style of riding you enjoy when you can get out and spend some time on the bike?
I like country road riding. I like, it's kind of a therapy for me. Um, Getting on my Sportster and just going down like Route 10, Route 5, around country roads. I actually love to do the exploring where I just get on it and I'm like, I'm not sure where I'm going or what roads I'm going to turn down, but I'm going to go and explore in the county, not in the city. I
Oh
try to stay
yeah.
away from traffic.
Oh, I'm the same way. It's if get up some of these areas, like I'd rather hop on the back highways and the side roads and go see the countryside because so
Mhm.
many people want to they want to get A to B now, and you don't see the country. There's so much stuff I think a lot of people miss when you take a little more extra time, go enjoy some of these other highways and get off the main ones, and man, you can find some beautiful places, some great country, and have a good time and find some amazing stuff that you'd never see unless spend a little bit more time.
Yeah, one of the ones that I hope to do soon is to do the Skyline Drive, Blue Ridge Parkway, here in Virginia, and just start from one end and just work my way down. I think that would be gorgeous. Um,
It's on my bucket list, I can tell you that.
yeah, yeah. I might get reamed a little bit for this, but the Tail of the Dragon's a little overrated. I think I'd still like to do it, but not during peak hours. I want to
Yeah.
stay away from other riders and other drivers. There's a lot of craziness that goes on that little strip of road, and yeah, the back of the dragon is interesting. That's the one in Virginia that goes from, I think it's Matthews to Tazewell, or back and forth between there. It's close, well, sort of close to Droop. Um, that's
Well,
that's
that's
a really
like
good ride.
similar when up in like South Dakota they have what's called Iron Mountain Road, kind of a very
Mhm.
similar deal to Tail of the Dragon, and it's a fun ride. But it's same thing. It's it's a great place to go explore when it's not rally time. Go there 6 weeks, 7 weeks. June. Like I mean, I did last year for the first
Right.
time, and you're still going to have some motorcycles, but it's not like what it's going to be like when you're during if you're there during Sturgis, and you can kind of enjoy the road a little bit more, not as crowded, and it is an absolutely gorgeous ride.
Right. That's what I said. My first trip to Sturgis will be not during the rally. It's my
Oh,
first trip to Sturgis will be, yeah, off rally time, so that I can, explore and,
give yourself if I mean from I mean I've been there once, so I mean I'm not an expert whatsoever. We were planning there be Friday, Saturday, and a Sunday over there.
mhm.
Give yourself 5 days at least, because there's so much stuff to see if you want to really take it in and go see stuff. You need I mean you still won't see everything, but if you try to do it in like 3 to 4, you'd still be kind of rushing, or there's a lot of stuff you won't get to see because it is an absolute beautiful place. My wife and I, we want to get back there for sure. At least next time spend 5 days. We found a
Yeah.
great campground just outside Sturgis, the No Name RV and campground. They got little
Hmm.
cabins you can rent. They have a restaurant and bar right in the campground, laundry facility, showers, and they're also the owners are motorcycle riders themselves. It's a super cool place, and you're just a few minutes from Sturgis, but they got most all the amenities you need in the campground. Their cabins were really nice, and we enjoyed the place. Like we go back, we'd definitely stay there again.
Oh, cool. They have places for RVs.
Yep.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, weird. That's what um my husband and I yesterday we decided to go out for the first time and go. I said RV looking, not really shopping because there was no. We didn't really. We were just looking because we're first time,
Hmm.
and
But yeah, Springer
okay,
Mike, I
cool.
actually got to meet him, and we hung his brother and Nick and him both stayed with us when we were over there, and they're like an hour and a half ish outside of Sturgis in Wyoming. But man, they were great tour guides and took us around and showed us a lot of cool stuff, and became some amazing friends with them. So
Well,
yeah, you
that's
get in that
awesome.
area, want something, ideas, or man, those guys are great.
Well, I'll have to take him up on that offer. That would be awesome. Totally. To be able to connect with somebody there and be shown around, that would be nice than going out on our own, not really knowing what we're looking for. So
And that was one of the fun parts, like the campground we stayed at. God, I forgot her name. I'd have to look. But everywhere you go, they have like looks like a legal pad, and it's maps of Sturgis, Rapid City, the whole area. And I went up to the lady that owned the campground. Said, "Hey, build us a route for tomorrow. What would you recommend that we ride?" And she built us this cool route, and we took off, and it was like an all-day adventure through the Black Hills. I mean, we did that Iron Mountain Road, Mount Rushmore, Spearfish Canyon, the Needles Highway, and up through Deadwood and Lead, and oh, it was so freaking beautiful. That place is just amazing.
oh
I want to go
wow,
back
that
badly and spend some time.
that is very cool.
You'll definitely enjoy it. I'd recommend it highly.
Yeah. And then and the Sturgis rally is not out of the question for us. I think we're just like we're newbies. We've only been doing this for a couple of years, um, you know, and riding bikes and everything. So we definitely don't want to get in over our head too quickly. So, but Sturgis, the rally is on our bucket list. And it's growing every day.
Well, how far is it up to like Connecticut from where you're at?
I know from us to Staten Island is 6 hours.
Because the other
So
big one you have up in that area, I think Laconia, I believe, is in Connecticut or
yeah,
Massachusetts,
look,
but that's even older than Sturgis, and that's also another great motorcycle event. They have Laconia. I
yeah,
think
this
this
year is going to
year's their
be the
100th.
100th. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm going to be up there around that time. We won't be going to Laconia. We'll be going to Americade. Forgive me. I'm
You
going to
could
take my
just,
glasses.
you could just detour a day and, head over to Laconia and check it out.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm kind of hitching a ride with Des. So
Oh,
and
nice.
yeah, she's gonna I'm gonna like hitchhike along 95 in Virginia. She's gonna come pick me up. We're gonna head up to upstate New York and ride around together and see the sights. It's gonna be really cool. I can't wait. I'm
Yeah.
obsessing over it.
Oh, that'll be fun. See, I've who was it? FDLX Brooklyn. He's a big YouTuber, moto vlogger, and way he was talking about the Catskills in Upper New York. Sounds like that would just be an awesome area to go explore and ride.
Hmm.
A bunch, kind of, well, what the East Coast people call mountains. When you're on the West Coast, it's not different terminology. But I think it would just, the way he described it and whatnot, it would be just an awesome place to go explore and ride through. It'd be so much fun.
Yeah, that would be. We're looking at going. I think we're going to Lake George and hopefully meet up with Upstate Rider, Blue, and Moto Noggin, and a few others.
Yeah,
And
right there. Moto
yeah,
Noggin, Upstate Rider.
yeah,
That's not gonna be a
I
lot of
can't
fun.
wait and ride around Lake George, maybe up to Lake Placid and around that area. Kind of get as much states under our belt. We're both gonna have our little list and check off our
I've
state.
actually heard of both of those places, so that's cool.
Yeah, and there's also the Hawk's Nest up there where you can see three states from the Hawk's Nest: New
Oh, that'll be
Jersey,
super cool.
New York, and um, is it Pennsylvania? I think is the other state. Des should be able to say which one it
Well, that's
is.
kind of like
It'll
what
be,
is it in Colorado? You can go down to the Four Corners Mountain. You were what? Colorado, Nevada, Utah, New Mexico, I think it
hmm
is.
Yeah, the Four
And stand right
Corners.
there. Yep.
Yeah, on my ultimate bucket list ride is going to be Route 66, and
Yeah.
I'm kind of sad that I'm not going to be able to do it with the Badgers. The Badgers are doing it. They're going Route 66 this year. And I would really love to be able to do it with them, but I've got to work, man. I got to pay bills.
I had a good friend of mine. He did it. Him and his wife rode it last year from down Arizona all the way up to
To
Illinois
Illinois.
area. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that would be pretty epic.
Yeah, I know my dad's done it because one of my dad's really good friends, when he passed away, he wanted his ashes spread over Route 66. So my dad took his ashes down there, and I think he had his daughter on the back, and she was there going down Route 66, opened the jar, and let his ashes out.
Oh wow.
But yeah, Route
That's pretty cool.
66 would be a lot of fun.
Yeah. I come from a classic car type family. My grandfather worked for GM in northeastern Ohio, and my father grew up with cars. My grandmother, my whole family was into rehabbing classic cars.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
my grandparents, my uncle and my grandparents really were into. I don't know if you remember a car company called Nash.
Yep.
But yeah, they had Nashes and Ramblers, and you know they're just they're cool car people. And I remember as a kid, tagging along. My uncle has a 1912 Nash, which looks like it's a
Wow.
1912, so it looks like a Ford Model T, basically. It's black, and it had and lights, no turns. It does have headlights, but no turn signals. So we drove. My uncle drove that thing from northeastern Ohio to Richmond, Indiana for a Nash car meet and car show. And that was a pretty epic adventure because that car, suspension wasn't a thing in 1912.
No.
So my uncle did hand signals when he was turning out the window. Um, what I remember, my aunt and my brother were sitting in the back seat, and I was sitting in the front seat with my uncle. And my aunt was laughing so hard, telling the story about how I fell asleep in the front seat, and I fell asleep sitting up. So they were making fun of me because my head was basically I was a bobblehead,
Yeah.
bobbling all over bouncing all over the seat, and they were picking on me and making fun of me. But it was a blast. And my uncle, he won. he may not have won. He may not have had the prettiest of that car category there, but it was all original, and the people there were just amazed that he drove it all the way across the state of Ohio to Indiana, because most of
Oh, I
those
bet.
guys that took their cars to that car meet trailered them, and yeah, so it was pretty awesome.
I
And
mean, and
my
that says something itself when you go to those events. And I mean, you do see, there's a good amount of people with trailer, and there's the other enthusiasts that they're still going to drive them. And it is cool to see people that still, they're not just a show car, but they're still a driver. And my dad's the same way. My dad's got a really nice 73 Dodge Challenger that is just finishing its whole 100% restoration job on it. But
Yeah,
he treats it like a toy. I mean, he takes
yeah,
it out to the drag races and go drag race it, and he's broke some parts on. He just laughs. He's like, "Yeah, I'll go pick it. I got to get a car trailer. It's broke down out there because I broke this, broke that." He's like, "It's just fun." He goes, "It's my toy." And some people think it's crazy, but I guess it all depends on the person. When you get something like that and you just want to have fun and enjoy them, man, it's awesome.
yeah. And I kind of got a little bit of that too. When my first car was a '70s Chevy Nova, and it had a 3-speed uh, manual in the floor. And my dad, when he was working on it, he hooked the linkage up backwards and upside down. So I was the only one that knew how to drive it. But I learned how to drive a stick in the wrong direction, in the wrong pattern, if you could think of that.
I remember
Um,
my dad had an old Chevy pickup with a 3 on the tree.
hmm
That was interesting.
Yeah, yeah. That was my first car. It may not have been the prettiest car in the school parking lot, but that thing was a tank. I mean, being a teenage girl, I did put that car through a lot. But that thing, it refused to die, no matter how hard I tried to kill it.
So does
So
anybody else in your family ride bikes, or is it just you and your husband?
it's just me and my husband and my immediate family. My dad, when I was younger, I that wasn't this isn't the first time I've been on a bike. I don't
Hmm.
count when I was a child because it was literally one time I got on and then I was like, nope, got back off. Um, my older brother had a Honda CT70 Trail.
Oh
It was a
yes,
1979 red.
and
Um,
everybody still wants one of those today.
yeah, yeah. Well, and then they're making the newer ones that look a lot like the older ones. Those trails that they're coming
But
out
yeah,
with
those
too.
old Trail 90s and those CT 75s. I mean, they're bringing some serious money if you can find one. Because I don't know, something happened, man. Everybody wants one of those now.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm not sure what my dad had, but he had one too, but it never really ran. But he didn't ride it. It sat in the garage and just kind of fell apart. But my brothers, we got it running and decided to try it out, and I had no idea how to work it. I got on that thing, I didn't know which one was the brake, which one was the clutch, how do you do this, how do you and I got moving, but then I couldn't figure out how to stop. So I freaked out, and pulling back into the driveway, I was like, okay, I got an idea. So I kind of rolled it and kind of drove it into the ditch and put my feet down on either side of the ditch and just let it stall out.
Hey, there you go. If it works, it
So
works.
I was like that, I could stop the bike because I was small. I was a child, so I wasn't able to stand the bike up straight with both feet on the ground.
Hmm.
So yeah, so it was I was like, I want this to stop, but I don't want to fall down with
Yeah. I can
it.
remember my stepdad's that when I was younger. He had, I think it was his old XR 600. I was 11, 12. And she's like, well, if you can start it, you can ride it. Well, I had to stand up on a boulder just to get on it. It's like, all right, cool. I got it started. Then it's like, stand up on the boulder, put it in gear, and go. And it's like, I could ride it. And then it comes to trying to stop, like downshift, and then literally hop off and jump off and try to not drop it as I bring it to a stop.
Right. Well, I saw that video. There's a that video of that guy that rides a regular size motorcycle, but he's a little bit shorter. Not Dallas, but he there's there's a video. I knew somebody was gonna say it in the side chat, so I kind of
Oh,
preempted that.
oh, that's
And
funny.
he's a little short guy. But
Yeah,
he hops on it, and then when he stops, he hops off of it and stands beside it and holds it up.
I've seen
Uh,
that video.
yeah, yeah, that it was really cool. I was like, dang, if he can do it, you should never say that bike's too big for me, because yeah, there's a way around that.
Right.
Um, Springer Mike, my Sporty's a 2008. It's
Actually, you should
a
go into that little story about the deal and talk about finding a bike with literal to zero mileage on it.
Oh
Is
yeah. So my husband was looking around on well, he found out that I was looking through Facebook Marketplace and Cycle Trader and everything for Sportsters, and he's like, "Is that what you want?" And I said, "I'm not really sure, but I mean, they look cool." I said, "Yeah." And he found this one on Facebook Marketplace. He's like, "This is right close to us." And he showed it to me, and I was like, "Purple? I mean, okay, it's a girl. I'm girly, but not girly. Pink is out of the question, but purple, okay, maybe." So I he looked at it, and it was on Facebook Marketplace, and it only had 2,600 miles on it, and it was a 2008, and the guy was only wanting $5,000 for it. So I was like, it's a Sportster XL 1200 low. And so I said, okay, well, let's check it out. And we went over to the guy's house. He literally lives like 2 miles up the road. And
convenient.
yeah, and he actually does airbrush painting. So he kind of custom painted the oil pan cover and the battery box cover to kind of match the bike. They're painted in like purple flames. And the so we got to talking to him. He said he bought the bike for his woman, his old lady, and she rode it for a few times and decided that wasn't for her, that she'd rather be a passenger. So it kind of sat in the garage. He took it out a couple times, said it's never been driven in the rain. In fact, he showed us where the sticker on the underside of the front fender was still perfectly intact and not dirty or anything. So he's like, he's like, it runs. And he started it up for us and everything. And I took it down the road, and I said, yeah, that's what I want. So my husband, we went and got the money. We got the bike and brought it home. And I took it to our local Harley to have it inspected completely over, because we wanted to make sure that, it's a 2008 with 2,600 miles on it. It sat for a long time. But it was a garage queen. It stayed in the garage.
So how long ago did you buy it? Was that like a yearish ago?
That was a year ago this
Okay.
month in April. Yep. So, and in that year, she's gotten a little bit more mileage on her. So I've put her through her paces. I my heart breaks for automobiles and bikes and things that are meant to be driven and ridden that don't get driven and ridden. You know,
Yep.
I feel like what is it called when you personify an inanimate object?
I
My
can't think
heart
of the
breaks
words.
for it. Yeah. So that's what how I feel about the bike. It's my friend now.
Perfect. And
Yeah.
as it should be. I mean, that's a steal when you can find a bike, that's that year with barely even past this break-in service.
Yeah. Now, something that I didn't realize, when I took it to the Harley dealership, they were like, "Yeah, everything checks out. It's good and everything." And I said, "Well, we probably should check the tires." The
Yeah,
tires
yeah, I
that
remember we talked about that.
yeah. So just this the last several months, we noticed that the date code was 2007. The tires look good, but they were well past their expiration date.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. And so the first thing we did, because I was worried, because it's not being garage kept anymore. She isn't a undercover, but she's in a carport. So a little bit out in the elements, and I was worried about it being out in the cold and through the winter with the older tires that it would dry rot further and become an issue. So ordered new tires, and wow, what a difference.
Oh, I could imagine.
Yeah. And I told you, I said we had upgraded the suspension. I put the Progressive 412s on the back of the bike and thinking it was a suspension. And then I put the new tires on and I was like, whoa, okay. Not just the suspension. The ride was much better.
Well, yeah. I could imagine with tires. Yeah. It definitely would make a difference for sure.
Yeah.
So what other kind of goodies have you done to it?
I've switched out I relocated both sets of turn signals. So the front turn signals, I took them off the mini apes and put them on the forks, and the rear turn signals, I removed them from the fender struts I did the relocation kit. That's that little bar that goes along the back side of the license plate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I put I don't have custom dynamics lights on it yet. I did get some just LED bulbs that screw in from Lowbrow Customs because they were a little bit cheaper, but I had to get the custom dynamics signal stabilizer for mine because the when you plug in the LEDs,
the diodes you need in them.
Yeah, they got hot too. So I was like, oh yeah, I don't want to mess anything up. So I got the custom dynamics load stabilizer and put the little bulbs in. And for right now, that'll work. It's got a nice Daymaker headlight on it that came on that the guy bought for it when I got it. So it's it's got a good headlight on it. What else did I do? Oh, I had to get rid of that seat. It had one of those Badlander seats on it. It's a very thin. It's there's nothing to it. And man,
there is no seat.
It hurt so bad. I was
bet.
Oh no. I said cutting on my butt, because I was actually putting some miles on it. I got enough natural padding on my butt, but not that much. So yeah, I ended up ordering a Sundowner seat for it, and that was a game changer too. Then I put a crash bar on the front, and I switched out. They had mid controls on it. That was the first thing I did was put forward controls on it.
Now, on your Sundowner, I've had a few friends that bought one. Did it take a little bit to break yours in? I mean, spending some time riding.
It did, but the difference between the Sundowner and the seat that I had on it, there was a big difference in comfort right from the jump. But I have noticed that over time, it's actually gotten better.
Nice.
So.
Yeah, I had a friend that bought one, and he wasn't really. He put 1,000 miles on it and still wasn't happy with how it felt.
Mm.
Oh, Dallas is funny. That's right. You want comfort.
Wild ass commercial.
That's right.
When your break-in doesn't go as planned.
That's right.
I thought about getting one, actually.
They're impressive. I'm really impressed with the comfort. Even, we put one on my son's bike and we went to South Dakota. My wife has her, we got her one on the pasture. I have mine, and they do make a difference. A guy, you spend some time in one, and then after that, it's like, I understand why a lot of these long distance endurance riders swear by them. It's like, I get it now.
Yeah.
And I have probably 10 to 15,000 miles on mine, and I won't ride without it.
Is there a big difference between the air versus the gel, or?
They have different ones. I know with their air gel ones, the neoprene one, I have the Smart Classic, which there's different air pockets in it. And so actually when you're riding, air will actually go through the cushion. And so you're not going to get,
Swamp ass.
exactly. You don't. I mean, I've ridden through temperatures, last summer in Eastern Washington, 114 degrees. And I was sweating like a pig, but my ass was comfortable. Even being stuck in traffic in Eastern Washington, and no, they're great.
That's awesome.
Oh, there we go. There's Mr. Michael Nielsen right there. He's out of Sundowner and loves it. My brother from another mother, Michael. Yeah, they are great. I mean, everybody, has their opinions of what works for them and what doesn't. And for me, I love it.
Everybody's ass is different.
Yep. This is true. So what's next for your bike? You got any more plans, little things you want to do to make it more your own?
Yes, I do. But I'm trying to figure out. So my big thing is I do want to spend more time on this, making the sport, customizing the sporty. But I really want a Road King. So,
nice.
So yeah, so I'm trying hard to figure out and weigh, like, should I spend the money on the sporty now, or should I save up my money for the Road King? There is a real pretty, Lacuna Orange, 2017. It's a custom orange. It's beautiful with the metal flake in it. It's gorgeous at our dealership. I did a reel on it a couple days ago. I walked in this 2017, and it has a decent amount of mileage on it too. I think it only has about 9,000 miles on it.
Oh, that ain't bad at all.
Yeah, and I said, every time I walk in, I think of that scene from Wayne's World where he says, "Stop dreaming, you're never gonna afford it." It will be mine. Oh yes, it will be mine.
Road Kings are great bikes. I got many friends. I've always been a big fan of the Road King Customs. I just love that 10-inch headlight. And they got the different models, but I remember before I got my roadglide, the biggest thing I wanted when I was wanting to get a new bike was the hard bags. Because for me, it's like, I like touring, I like traveling, and having those hard bags, if you're traveling touring, you're bound to run into weather. And for me, the biggest thing was like, I get caught in the weather. I know when I get to where I'm going, I'm going to have dry clothes. And that was the biggest thing, that selling factor, when it's like, all right, I was, looking at bikes, looking at stuff, is I want hard bags. And that was really the only key thing that I wanted on a motorcycle.
Yeah, Bri keeps telling me I want a road glide, but I'm not a fairing girl. I'm not big on the front fairings. I like the classic look of the Road Kings, and with just the headlight and the handlebars, and maybe a windshield if you're because the windshield's a nice luxury. Oh,
it is like, Two-Wheel Survive, my friend Michael Nielsen. He's had a couple and loves his new Road King.
Yeah.
Friend Frank O'Neill, he's got one and he freaking loves it. To each their own. Everybody has their style of what works for them. And man, the only difference, you're going Road King, Road Glide, Street Glide, Electra Glide, is the fairing. It's the same frame.
Yeah.
It's basically what's on the forks. What nose do you want on it? It really is the difference.
Yeah, and I don't need a stereo. I'm not riding the bike to listen. I have a full face, and I have the Bluetooth set up, so with the Sena, so I connect it to my phone if I want to listen to music. But I like to just be out in the elements.
I'm the same way, especially with the full face. If it's really nice and I'm just doing some local ride around home, I'll wear my, my skidlet or whatnot. But even if I get out on the freeway and the highway, it's like, I want my full face. I got a nice modular, I run the modular. I have a Lexan comm unit on it, so I can play my music through my phone and my helmet, and I'll go that way unless I'm just buzzing around town. But, same way otherwise, like, I got the stereo on my road glide, but honestly, I don't even play it much anymore since I got the Lexan put in my helmet.
Right. I was on a ride with a girlfriend of mine, and she had a half helmet on and sunglasses, and she got beamed in the nose with a acorn going down the road. She's like, I really need to get one of those full faces. I said, yeah,
I
it's nice.
Yeah, I had a beak come up underneath my chin strap once and got me just outside my eardrum, stung me,
Mm.
and I had to pull over the side of the road. It was so bad. The sting got down into my throbbing in my eardrum, and oh, it was freaking brutal.
Yeah, I had like a grasshopper just splat right smack in the middle of my full face, and I was like, oh, thank God I had that.
I think
I'd
the
be
worst I had a
eating grasshopper off my face.
yeah, going down the highway. I mean, I was going a little fast. I don't know, 70 to 80, and I could see the bumblebee coming. It also was like slow motion, as it hit me right up inside my thigh. I mean, it
Mm.
like blew my thigh out open, and my buddy on his Ultra Classic, which he had a built Ultra, he was 4 or 5 bike lengths in front of me. And I see him turn because he said he could hear me screaming. Because I swear to God, I got shot. Oh, it hurt
Oh,
so
wow.
bad. It was brutal. And we pulled over, and he's just laughing. He's like, I could hear you screaming. I get fucking hurt.
Did
That
he
was
just hit
bad.
you or did he sting you?
Oh no, he just hit me up inside my thigh. But
Maybe.
it was
I
big,
was
and
riding down
that
the
was
road one
brutal.
day and something hit me in the shin, and I swear it felt like a rock, but there was nowhere. I'm like, where did it come from? Because I mean, my tire couldn't have kicked it up. I was like, what in the world? But maybe it was a big bug or something. I don't know, but
Yeah,
I
I
don't
had
know.
that. Yeah, that bumblebee that day. I mean, I could see him coming. Once I saw it, it was like a slow motion. I'm like, oh, this is gonna hurt.
Yeah. So, what's your the most awful smell that you experience when you ride? Like,
Um, the most awful smell. It's worse in Eastern Washington because over there you got more dairy farms. But you get in the heat where you get in
mm,
that 100-degree weather and you go by those dairy farms.
cow.
Oh God, it is bad. Brutally nasty.
Yeah, we have skunks around here. Yeah, that those are awful smells.
Yeah, we have skunks too, but yeah, I think in the summertime, I mean, the worst is the dairy farms.
Mm.
Especially you're, riding like so many of us enjoy riding those back highways, but yeah, you get around those and oh, it's rancid. It is so bad.
Yeah,
Even
better
in the
than
car, it still comes through. It's like oh
yeah. We were talking earlier. I was telling you about my phone call with Des. Speaking of smells, Des, if you're still on, it's called a Bradford pear. So we have these trees that bloom in uh, the early spring that have little white flowers that smell like dead fish. It's awful. When you get close to them,
that's
it's
nasty.
gag. Yeah.
There's some, oh, it's a bush. There's some up here. I know, like I can remember like Wendy's has them in the drive-through. They smell like urine. They're
Oh,
disgusting.
yeah, yeah. Not all flowers smell pretty.
No. Do I smell
Do I
gunfire?
smell? I don't know. I'll have to tell you when I meet up with you in May. We'll see. I don't think she does.
Leaking
She doesn't look
septic
like she
pump
smells.
truck. Oh, that would be. I wouldn't want to be behind that. No, thank
Ooh.
you.
Oh, speaking of trucks, I rode out one day to Roanoke from my house. It's about a 400-mile trip, round trip. And I was coming back, and it was a 2-lane highway or a 4-lane split highway, and there were 2 trucks ahead that were just. I'm guessing they had like limestone or something. They were spilling out clouds of white dust behind them. They did not have their covers on,
Hmm.
and there was one in the left lane and one in the right lane, and they were just going down the road just kicking. I mean, everybody behind was getting, but it got my helmet dusty. The bike was dusty. I wiped my face like this. I was like, oh no, I got to get out. from behind these guys. So as soon as I got the opportunity, I passed them. I mean, I gunned it past them. I think I got the bike up in the triple digits at that point in a 55-mile-an-hour zone. But I was like, the whole time I was like, I dare a cop to pull me over. I dare a cop to pull me over. I was like, you wipe my face shield off and tell me I didn't do the right thing.
You got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, because I mean, even if I had slowed down, I would still be behind them. I would still get dusted. So
exactly.
Yeah. So that was fun.
Or yeah, same thing with like livestock trailers getting stuck behind those. Oh, that can be bad too.
Like Purdue chicken trailers and hog trailers that are going off to the slaughterhouse.
Or cows, whatever, when the shit's literally running out the back. Yeah. Pass. Grab a gear and get around them.
Yeah. Well, ever since they made medical marijuana legal around here, I've been catching smells of funky weed.
Oh, yeah.
I pull up to a stoplight and guy next to me. So I got the window down.
Just indulging a little bit right now.
Yeah.
So what other plans you got for this year, for this summer, places you guys are going to go visit? Besides, you mentioned Americade, but you got any other plans?
Well, I'm gonna kind of lump Americade and Babes Right Out in the same, because Americade is, I'm gonna do the meetup with Des and hopefully do George and Bert's. If they do a ride that Saturday before the Memorial Day weekend, we might meet up with them and do that one too. I would love to.
Oh, nice.
Riding with George and Bert, that would be awesome in New Jersey. And then do Americade and then Babes Right Out to end it. I bought all my camping equipment. I'm gonna rough it. So I've got a tent and sleeping bag and cot and everything. So gonna go all out on that and got it in a dry bag so that I can, and that's one of the things that I'm trying to do to outfit my bike, to make sure I can carry some luggage with me.
Nice.
Gonna be putting some saddlebags on there. I got some quick disconnect hardware, and a sissy bar that I can put the sissy bar bag and a luggage rack on it. And,
sweet.
And a duffel dry bag that I'll be using as a backrest.
I was just going to say, sometimes some of those bags, you put them on the back seat and let it double as your backrest can be super nice.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm planning on. I might take a riding buddy too. I have like a little stuffed dog that my husband gave me for Valentine's Day that I'll strap to the back, and he can kind of keep an eye on my six for me while I'm going down the road. But I'll be driving back from Babes Right Out pretty much by myself. And I'm planning on taking the long way around, try to avoid DC and Baltimore.
So, where's Babes Right Out? Where's your location for it?
It's in Narrowsburg, New York.
Okay. I don't know where that's at.
It's on I think it's on the border. It's south, like a little bit on the border of New York State, and I want to say Pennsylvania. It's close to where the Hawk's Nest is.
Oh, okay.
So So we'll be I'll be headed back, but I'm gonna kind of swing out west to try and avoid because Baltimore and DC people are psychotic when they drive up there, and I would like to arrive home in one piece.
That's more fun. You get out like we were talking earlier. You get out and enjoy the back highways and find those little mom and pop places and find destinations and places that you want to come back to that you would have never found if you weren't enjoying the ride more and not just trying to go A to B.
Yeah, I tell you what, if I had time, I would make that part of my Blue Ridge Parkway trip.
Oh, there you go.
I could just go down and way down Blue Ridge Parkway and then come back east to home. Yeah, but I'm not going to have the time. So, and it'll be a long trip anyway. It's looking to be about 10 hours anyway. So, yeah, but I'm excited.
Good fun time.
Yeah. Oh, and then after that, we will have our annual trip, family trip up to see family in northeastern Ohio, and spend a week with them. And then we're hoping to be able to go to VAM, which is the Virginia motorcycle meetup that happens every year in, where is he at? Toby Northern would
Mm-hmm.
know. I think they put that on every year, and this year it's going to be the same weekend as the 120th,
Oh, okay.
July 15th, around that date.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we're looking to do that, and then we're also going to try to do Hog Rock and Dallas's meetup down in Tennessee in October.
Sweet.
Yep. And then we also would really love to be able to go to the Forgotten Angels camp out in Florida in October as well. But we have to, well, me in particular, I have to be very cautious about how much PTO I have and what I can use. So,
Yeah, we all just need to win the lottery so we can have more time off. But you got to buy tickets for that, and it's probably the other reason I
I
don't ever
know.
win or get a chance.
I don't have that kind of luck, so I don't play the lottery. I know they say you have to play to win, but I'll think I have better odds just not playing.
I might try 5 times a year around
Yeah.
there, but every now and then say, ah, shit, I'll go buy, 3 5, whatever. I'll try once. I don't ever win.
Yeah. We have a family member that'll buy us scratch offs for Christmas gifts. So, we have fun with that. So, win a dollar or so every
I've
year.
had better luck on those. I think the best one I had was a $50 winner on like
Yeah.
a $3 ticket. It was awesome. Like, yes.
I think my dad won 500 one time. That was
Dang,
pretty
that's
cool.
awesome.
Yeah, on a scratch off. So yeah, that's still, I don't know. I'd rather put my money in the, like, well, no, I was just about to say I'd rather put my money in the stock market, but that's, similar
Yeah,
to,
yeah. It's not good right now
I
either.
might have better odds for winning the lottery.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very true.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
well, shoot, thanks for, coming and hanging out and kind of, sharing your story and adventures. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, thank you for having me, Denver. I
Oh,
appreciate it.
absolutely.
Yeah.
No, that's what it's all about is, getting everybody in, this great community that we're all part of and, getting people together and hearing the stories and sharing them. And, now your story can, be heard later from kids down the year. Who knows? Your grandkids could listen to
Hey, you want to see my great grandma?
it. Yeah, exactly.
She was crazy talking about asses and
It's crazy to think
motorcycles.
that way, but you know what? In 50 years, it could happen. It's like, holy crap.
Yeah, yeah. That's kind of what I wanted to get on YouTube. Is kind of, I wanted to have like a video diary. I wanted to be able to save those experiences because I really wish I had the GoPro when I went out to Roanoke because oh my god, the scenery was just gorgeous, and to be able to go back and watch that again, and see the
Yeah.
mountains and the sun peeking through the clouds, and you know those kind of images. Those, it's nice to be able to go back and see those again and experience that
And
again.
that, and I want to do the same thing, up here. It's fun watching other people's videos because, we all live in different places of the country. And I really want to do more stuff to, showcase the Northwest where I live. I mean, riding up through the mountains and we all have great scenery and it's a lot of fun if, put it together and share it. Let other people know, hey, you know what? Here's what I got. Here's my roads. Here's my scenery. And, we can all live vicariously through each other's videos and see stuff. And, hopefully you build that bucket list and someday we can all kind of get to these other places that, we watch everybody's content and videos. Like, man, first, it's like, man, you got some great stuff down in Virginia and all around that area. It's like, I want to get down there. And honestly, I do because there's so much history in that area and I love history and I want to get down through the
Oh
South
yeah,
and ride some of the roads and just spend some time down there. It'd be so much fun.
A lot of Civil War history through here. Yeah. Yeah.
It'll be fun.
Yeah.
Someday.
I typically go to YouTube. I don't know about everybody else, but I typically go to YouTube to learn something or to see what something looks like.
Mm-hmm.
So I
it's
feel
a great
like
tool.
it's good utility to have, to like say, oh well, I know Denver lives in, was it Seattle? Sorry, I had to throw in.
Show's over. Have a nice day. See everybody. Thanks.
Sorry, I was told I had to throw it in.
Yeah, I'm sure. It's the joke that will not die. It's even made it into other podcasts. If you can listen to the Wild Ass podcast with Bri. Oh shit, I haven't made it on that. Oh yeah, Denver's in Seattle. Motherfuckers.
That's his fault.
Yeah.
I'm gonna blame him.
Oh yeah.
So, but
it
yeah,
is
you
comical.
live in Washington State, so like if I want to say, hey, what kind of good riding is in Washington State, I'm gonna check out Denver's channel and see what videos he's got up. And the same thing for Tennessee and Dallas, and well, if I want to know how concrete is poured, I'd see Dallas's channel. But
right. It's like watching paint dry. We can watch concrete dry.
Or OMG and yeah. I want to check out Florida riding, I'll look for Dez or Monkey or yeah. So I learned how to crochet from YouTube.
Well, it's also, the friendships you can build. You can, message people, hey, I'm going to be at so-and-so. What do you recommend? And I told so many people, man, if you're coming up, you're getting up in Northwest Washington or anywhere in Washington, man, you want some advice or, any ideas, tips, places to visit, shoot me a message, man. I love, giving people some ideas and places to visit because we all have our home ranges of places where we've been and the scenery and the places we know. So it's like if you can share that with other people, it's still a win-win.
Right. And there are a lot of really good riding that isn't very publicized, So close to us is the Virginia 5 and Dime. So it's Route 5 and Route 10, and you pick up the Jamestown ferry and ride the ferry. I have a few reels on that ride that I did. And it's a very publicized ride. It's a very popular ride in our area, but there's still so many other wonderful roads that are not that publicized or not that well known. So yeah, right. It's nice to have that. So
if you want some Arizona information, shoot me a message on Instagram. I have some people I can get you in touch with down there. I know El Buffalo's, he's New Mexico, but I do have some riding friends down in Arizona, and I'm glad to get you in touch with them.
So he'll be in Arizona for work, and he's going to hopefully pick up a rental and do some riding in Arizona. I hope he does. Yeah,
Leo Gomes, he was on the podcast. He runs a big a motorcycle organization down in Arizona, and he puts on all kinds of different rides and whatnot. And yeah, I can easily get you in touch with Leo. You want to, some ideas or places to visit. And I know there's a couple others that I've met down in that area. So, man, not a problem. I can try to get you in touch and get you down there.
Yeah, that would be cool. That's his little trip.
Awesome.
It's for work, but he'll get to play a little bit too.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah.
You got days off.
That's right. But he rides
the Eagle Rider.
There you go. Yeah.
Heck yeah. So, well, guys, thanks everybody for tuning in. Thanks, Celtfire, for coming and hanging out. Next weekend, there will be no Milepost next weekend. I'm taking a trip where I don't even know where I'm going. My wife has surprised me with a getaway for my birthday, so I don't know where I'm going, and I don't know when I'm going to be home. So we're taking the weekend off, and we will see you guys in 2 weeks for Milepost 98. So close to 100. That one's going to be fun. I got great plans. I think I'm going to keep it a secret till the day it airs. So, Celtfire, thank you so much for coming and hanging out. Thank everybody, all you guys, for tuning in. And enjoy that road. Ride safe, have fun, and we will catch you on the open